Hey Sparklers, how are we doing? So today my guest with me is Ryan from New England Paranormal Research Crew. I am very excited to have him. If you don't know me, I am Empress Sparkle. I am a witch, clairvoyant, and Hellenic pagan. Ryan, would you mind introducing yourself, please, lovely?
Yeah, my name is Ryan. I'm the founder of New England Paranormal Researchers in the United States in New England. We started in 2020.
Oh wow, so quite recent. Well, no, not really. It's 5 years now. Why do I always think 2020 is like yesterday?
Well, that's a year that we all want to forget, I think. um, yeah, I've been around the paranormal longer. Just this team started in 2020, but I'm sure we'll get into that.
I'm positive we will, to be honest, because I love hearing everyone's sort of story of how they got into it. So, should we actually start with that? How you got into it, lovely?
Yeah. So I got into it. I don't know if you know the show Ghost Hunters, Taps.
Yeah,
Um, Me and my grandmother used to watch it every Wednesday night, and that's how I got introduced into the paranormal. And then when after I graduated high school, me and my buddies more or less just goofing around, like we not goofing around, but just going walking through cemeteries and all that and try and scare each other. And then I took it more serious with this team. So I, I would say my first investigation was 2016.
oh wow,
Yeah.
so quite a while ago. So,
Yeah.
was it just the goofing around that got you into it, or were you a believer beforehand?
I was interested in it beforehand, like watching Ghost Hunters with my grandmother. It always intrigued me, like just the history that they would tell on those shows and all that. And I just wanted to do it, I guess. And that was, and walking around the cemeteries with my buddies was kind of a way to do it.
I love
Like,
that.
yeah,
I I think we all sort of start somewhere. Some of us, like myself, have always been in the paranormal because sadly we could see them. But I think for some people, it sort of comes a search of what's next, what's been, and what is next, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Oh, taps. See, I don't know taps. I know ghost. I know the other one, but I don't know taps. Someone's put, I like watching taps. Um,
Um, well,
I
I
don't know.
think they had a. I know I know that they had an international taps. It was definitely taps was the first mainstream paranormal group on like TV access that they had access to all these people. But now,
Ah.
yeah.
Oh, that's it. See, now for me, I'll hold my hands up. I'm going to show my age here. For me, we had Ghost Watch on the BBC,
Yeah.
and that actually was my first ever experience into sort of like that people were actually watching this sort of stuff and interested in it, and sort of taught me that I wasn't a weirdo. Even though I am a weirdo, but not a weirdo as in, you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So I've got to ask, because I ask all my guests, what was your scariest sort of experience so far?
So far, it just happened. We went to I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called either the Dandy House or the Hinsdale House. It depends. We went there. You're shaking your head. Yep. We just went there actually for our Halloween special, and we
I was going to say,
usually
I haven't seen it yet.
we usually film. a couple months in advance. That way we have time to edit, because we did the Conjuring house and they wanted to, what they wanted us to do is email them the footage. Anything they didn't like, we had to take it out. So that's the reason we do our Halloween special like a couple months in advance, just in case something like that happens again. So we actually went there. I think it was July. And the last thing I remember about the investigation was we were sitting outside by a fire. And then, like, the next thing I knew, I was outside the house standing there and the sun was coming up. Yeah. So we lost everyone that was there. There was 6 of us, I think. Everyone that was there, they don't remember anything from that investigation until we rewatched the footage. And even then we don't remember. I think that's the most scariest part about the paranormal, is something like that can happen where you lose, I guess, time. I mean, that's what happened.
That's scary, because also what's scary for me about that is that shows that you guys were open enough to have something come into your energy to actually use your bodies.
We actually have a medium on our team, and we were doing, I always forget the name of the method, but where someone is blindfolded.
Estes method.
Yes, we were doing that up on the top floor. Well, she was on the bottom floor, laying on the couch, kind of cross-armed, and she was clear as day answering our questions. There's no way she could have heard our questions. But but we have cameras. We had a camera upstairs and a camera downstairs with her. It was really weird.
So for me, I love this, Ryan, because for me, a lot of people don't realize that this sort of thing can happen. So I love the fact that you've actually come out with one of them stories that actually make people go, this is how scary the paranormal can be.
Yeah, I don't think it's, seeing the dark shadows or even like being touched or hearing voices. I don't find that, like, it will make you jump a little, but when you actually, like, I guess, physically lose time, you lose your senses and stuff, that's more scary than, hearing a voice, I guess.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. It's one of the reasons why I stopped channeling. So I'll admit that channeling can get a bit
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a bit like, you guys must be so open, because that's what it seems to me has happened, is somehow the spirits have sort of channeled through you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that is, you have to be seriously open to be able to have that done to you.
Yeah, we just did another investigation last month, and we let 2 of our, I guess, fans come with us. And when I was explaining it, I said, now this place usually has, I guess, nice spirits. I said, but you're opening it yourself to the paranormal. Anything can happen.
Yes, anything can happen. And this is the thing, anything can happen. I remember when I was younger, when I first got into witchcraft, and we did a circle, and someone said to me, "Oh, what's that?" And I was like, "What's what?" And I remember sat there, and the next thing, that's the last thing I can remember them saying. And then literally the next thing, I come round and they were like, "Amy, what's going on? Empress, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?" And I was like, "I'm fine. What are you going on about?" And that was just so scary for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's really oh. So did you get good footage though? That is a question I've got to ask. Did you get good footage?
Um, I don't think we caught like anything big on footage, but we got a lot of EVPs and there's one EVP because we have like special mics hooked up to our camera, and then we can amplify it on our videos. I can't explain this voice. The only thing I can describe it as, it sounds like a dog growling, and we didn't have dogs. Like, and that was one of the claims there, that there was a dog that used to roam the house.
Oh
So,
wow. That is crazy. So this is out for Halloween, isn't it? It's a Halloween special.
yeah, it will be out October 31st. I don't know what time. I'll have to ask uh, our teammate that deals with all that. Um, and we got a lot more investigations lined up. I'm actually really excited. We're actually going back to the Hinsdale house.
Oh, guys, the link is down in the description, so do check that out. I've got to ask a question because you know it's a big topic at the minute, Ryan. We all
Yep,
do in the paranormal world. So you know exactly what I'm going to ask. The Conjuring House, how
yeah.
haunted is it really?
Uh, we didn't really, when we went, the only thing that happened, and this is the first time I actually spoke about this. When we went, we had uh, the library door open on us 3 times.
Oh, wow.
And at the time, we thought, wow, this is incredible. But now, learning everything we know about the owner, we're like, was it actually? I don't know.
Mm.
It wasn't us. I mean, you would know. Everyone that's in the paranormal field, once you lie about something and you get caught, that's it. That
You question a lot. When you get caught and stuff,
yeah,
everyone starts to question a lot about
exactly. So
it. Yeah. It's
we,
one of Sorry, lovely,
yep.
carry on.
No, I was just about to say. So we didn't rig anything up. We Most of the time when we go into these places, we barely have time to set up our cameras. So it wasn't us if it was fate, but
So we're not going to say too much, guys. If the Conjuring House sells, I'll most probably discuss it more about what's gone on with the Conjuring House and the current owner. But at the minute, it's sort of like we've just got to be a bit. Yeah. um. So, where was the next place you were talking about that you're heading off to?
uh, so we just did one last month in Vermont. It was a castle. It was the only one of 3 castles in Vermont, and that was my 3rd time going there.
Which one
And
was it?
Wilson Castle.
No way. I've heard
Yeah,
about that one.
it's beautiful. I love going there. Even if it's not for an investigation, I still love going there.
It
Um,
is a beautiful place, isn't it? It's absolutely
it
beautiful. I'm
is.
not sure how haunted it is, because it sort of had mixed videos on it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there the spirits are more like they're more friendly, I guess is the best way to put it. Like they just want to talk to you and stuff. Versus, the Hinsdale house, you might get something thrown at you. But I mean, that's what I guess.
Yes, the Hinsdale
But
house, isn't that the one with one of the demons?
yeah, so the Hinsdale house has a long history to it. It's on Native American land. It has a demon. It has family members trapped there. It has just everything, and it's out in the middle of nowheres.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah.
I didn't know it had that much there. I knew it had some, but not that much.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And it's not just the house, it's the land. So we went up into the woods where they see this like creature thing, and it was definitely a crazy night. So actually, when we go back there, the next night, no, the first night, we're doing an insane asylum, which is 40 minutes away from the Hinsdale house. Then the next night, we're doing the Hinsdale house. So we're doing back-to-back nights, which
what
I don't
protection
think
do you have planned?
huh?
What protection do you have planned? I've got to ask that question.
So we do have holy water, we do got the Bible, but I wear, uh, I don't have it because I was at work, but it's a key, and it was blessed by what are they called, a shaman. And then
Oh,
I have Saint Michael necklace, like a medal, and
yeah.
that's blessed by a priest.
Oh, I
And
know that.
then we do a prayer before and after the investigation. We do use salt. Very rarely do we need to use the whole holy water, though. I think we only used it once, but it's just there, just in case.
Oh, okay. So that, yeah. See, I understand that. Because obviously holy water is a bit potent. I don't know if that's the right term to use. It's a bit like for us, we use salt water, blessed by the
Yep.
moons and stuff, and it's a bit more potent than actually the other bits, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, my lovely. I had to ask. So you're doing the asylum and the Henley House literally back to back.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest, because if anyone that's listening never did a paranormal investigation, it takes a lot of energy out of you. So, but the reason that we're doing it back to back is because the Hinsdale house is 8 hours away from where we live. And both of these places are literally a half an hour away, and they had both dates open back to back. So,
Wow. See, you're honestly, obviously for me, I hold my hands up, so I do energy cleansing. So I do what Christians would call it exorcisms. So for me, it's like I know how draining they are when I go into haunted houses, etc. I know exactly how draining they are. Even me walking out my house can be draining. So
yeah.
I'm like going somewhere, especially the Henley house. Like that is
Yeah.
nuts. That is, by the way, guys, if you haven't guessed, I know more about American haunted places than I do UK haunted places.
So, another place I would love to bring, like, I would say I'm sensitive, but like I can feel the energy. And the one place I actually like got really sad and actually started to cry was Penhurst Asylum. That's in Spring City, Pennsylvania, and it was for kids. And I'll let your guys' imagination what they used to do to them there. And it was just really sad walking in, and we were able to make contact with some. And then you get to this, like, they brought us into, like, not a hallway, a tunnel throughout the whole hospital, and it was very dark down there. Like, not just we couldn't see anything, but the energy was very dark.
So I think I know the asylum you're talking about, because I think I remember Sam and Colby also doing this asylum.
Yep, they did.
Basically, I will say it in a way that we won't get any strikes, guys. Basically, they would chain autistic children to radiators. Yep. They would tie Down syndrome children down, and stuff like that. So, and thank you, Ryan, for being cautious, because I know you're most probably cautious because it's like, oh, it's your channel and stuff. I don't know how much I want to say. But this place was horrifying. There's worse than what I'm saying. This is sort of like the basis of what they did. Obviously, I don't.
But sorry.
No, carry on, Ryan. Lovely.
No, I was just about to say there's a bunch of documentaries on this place on YouTube. I'm sure there's one on some streaming service.
I wouldn't be surprised, because honestly, and I'm not surprised, because when I watched it, I remember sat there sobbing when I watched Sam and Colby's. I hold my hands up. The ones I've watched of yours is The Conjuring and a couple of others. When I watched Sam and Colby's, I just sat there crying, because I could still see some of the children stood there rocking. And I've got a severely autistic daughter. And I thought that could have been her.
Yeah.
I know that sounds silly, but that's where my thoughts went. I think you have, Stacey. I think we've had a conversation about that one. Lovely. I think we have. And I think that's one of the hardest things also as a paranormal investigator. And I don't know whether you agree, Ryan, when you go to some of these places which have horrific histories, it can be quite hard to walk into them, not just for the energy as well. It's actually knowing what happened there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got to treat every investigation so different. I mean, like Penhurst, you don't want to go in there and be like, "What's your name? How old are you?" Or you want to be talking like you're talking to a kid, because that's what they were. They were kids. Versus going to a place that is, I guess, tormenting a family, and you want them to leave, so you're going to be a little bit more demanding with them. So,
no, I completely agree, because this is one thing that actually I say quite a lot about. I'll be honest, quite a lot, because one of the things that I actually find the hardest when I watch some of these paranormal investigators, especially the big YouTubers, is they don't seem to understand that language matters. So they'll go into some of these places and they'll be talking to these spirits as if, I don't mean it rudely, as if they're, from yesterday is the way I'm going to word it. Whereas if they're children, and we need to remember these children would have had no adult communication properly, so they wouldn't have understood really much other than basic, most probably what a 3-4-year-old would have known, English. maybe less than that, let's be honest, with some of them. And this is the thing that I love, the fact you've said that, because that for me, as a finding another paranormal investigator that understands that and respects that, is amazing. I just love that. Sorry, it shocked me because not many people actually understand that. Because one of the things as well, I don't know about yourself, but when you've been on paranormal investigations, actually, I'm going to ask this: how have you found it with the language barrier? So, if you found someone from like the 1600s, etc., how have you found it with that?
We're actually really good with, I guess, piecing words together, what they're trying to say. Like, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes perfect sense for me, because sometimes spirits like to be a little bit cryptic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah, they do.
our spirit guides are the same, Ryan. So it's nothing. For some reason, they like to be cryptic. I don't know why they like to be cryptic, but they really, really do. And it can make it harder for like people, especially people that aren't clairvoyant, so they're not feeling the energy. Obviously, fortunate enough, you said you're good at feeling energy, so that's quite a blessing, because that can help with understanding the words that are coming through.
Right.
I personally have found. So I've got so many questions going through my head, and the next thing is like a million questions. I hold my hands up. So the next one I think I'm going to ask, lovely, is you've obviously said about your scariest one and your saddest one. So what's one that you've gone into that sort of made you the happiest? I know that sounds weird, but we do get that sometimes. It's made you sort of feel quite joyful. Oh,
Yep.
I never thought about that. So Shawnee's actually asked, do you have a favorite item?
I don't know if it like made me joyful, but the funniest one was actually a morgue. We did an old morgue, and the spirit
Really?
just kept, yeah, and the spirit just kept making fun of our one of our investigators, Cameron. He just,
Oh,
like, Cameron wasn't doing anything. He just kept making fun of him. It was so hilarious.
he must have been English, wanted banter, Mr. Banter. We like banter.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love that. I actually love that, because that just shows how they've still got that human side to them. I know they're technically not human anymore, but they've still got that side to them.
Yeah.
I love that. Shawnee's asked, my lovely, do you have a favourite item to take with you on a hunt?
The two things I always bring is EMF and spirit box.
Oh, now which spirit box? I'm going to be nosy.
So we do it a little different. We got an SB7, but we hooked it up to a guitar amp, and we're able to um, turn down the noise frequency and all that, so the voices come through very, very clear.
Oh, now that's interesting, because I'll hold my hands up. I absolutely hate the.
So it's kind of like a portal in a way.
Yeah, I was speaking with last week with Murder of Crows. Jeff, I was speaking to him about portals, but I've never heard these before. I'll hold my hands up. So So I love the fact it comes through clearer as well. It is interesting. It is a clever idea.
Yeah. You still hear it a little bit, but it's a lot more clear.
I love that, because that is one of the things that, for me personally, I think because I can hear them, I struggle a little bit with the spirit boxes, if that makes sense, with having the noise, because I can actually hear the full sentence of what they're saying. So I'm like, oh. So Shawnee said about any.
Oh, sorry about that.
All right, lovely. I wondered what had happened. I was like, oh, it's gone silent. Obviously, we spoke about what protection you have while you're on a hunt, but Shawnee's asked, do you do any type of protection before a hunt?
Yeah, before a hunt, we get in a circle. We do a prayer, usually the Saint Michael prayer.
That would make a lot of sense, because Saint Michael's the angel of protection.
Right.
Oh, that's interesting. So one of the things because obviously for me, I cleanse my home a lot. I do spiritual cleansing to my home. I get my incense out and stuff like that. Can I ask, because obviously you'd want to protect your home, because that's where your family is, etc. Is there any sort of things you do in specific for your home, or sort of to make sure nothing follows you?
Yeah, we do a little bit. I did have an incident where something did follow me home, and like I said, I could feel it. It didn't feel like, I guess, a demon. So I just told it that it can't stay there. It has to leave, and it did. It left.
I think that shows how sometimes actually it's our energy that can actually help. Sometimes just our energy alone to say, no, you're not welcome here, leave.
Exactly.
It shows how sometimes our energy, our voice is actually some of the best protection we can have.
Exactly. And obviously, if it was like a demon or something evil, I would have to get the church involved, and that's the risk. My family, everyone knows. My whole team knows it. They all know the risk that we take.
I think this is one of the things, we do take a risk whenever we're doing it and stuff like that. We take a massive risk in it. No matter who you are, to be honest, even walking out the door, you can get an attachment. I'm not going to sit here and say that, there isn't a risk.
Right.
But it's sort of like we have to sort of, where we're putting ourselves actually into the place to chance getting it, if that makes sense, we have to be a bit more protective.
Yeah.
Oh, my girls would love to know if there's anywhere in the UK you would want to investigate.
Any old castles, really. I like you. I didn't really venture off into like international stuff yet, which is funny because I work for United Airlines, so I get free flights. I can go over there, but it's we're mostly focused on the New England side right now, and we're just starting to venture off into New York, Pennsylvania. We're working our way.
Oh, I love that.
I think I don't know the name of it, but there's a really old castle there, and like they got the tunnels and like the chambers and all that. I would love to go there. And
That name's about 5 castles. I hold my
yeah,
hands
I
up.
know. Yeah, but
So for me, one of the ones I would suggest is Pembroke Castle. I went there as a kid, and
yep,
literally we went into the dungeon area,
yep.
and I sort of lied because my cousin was still too young to know not to talk about the fact we can see spirits. And there was like a man scratching at the wall, you know, like they used to scratch their names and stuff into the wall. He was
Yeah,
doing that.
really.
And we were like, I wound her up quite a bit, saying, yeah, I can't see it. I don't know what you're talking about, even though I could. And I remember her running out there, like screaming her heart out. Bless her. I do feel a bit bad for that. But that was the one for me, was the most haunted that I've ever been to. I've been to Dudley Castle, but not actually done the tour, so I couldn't suggest. I don't know about Dudley Castle. Edinburgh Castle's massively haunted as well in Scotland. Massive. Have you noticed that I've done a Scottish and a Welsh one? Hold on, I need to get an English one. I've done a Scottish and a Welsh. Let's find an English. York Castle, because that's got all the Vikings.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's
those last two do sound familiar to me.
so Edinburgh and York are the most haunted cities in the whole of the UK.
Okay.
I don't know why, but they are. They seem to be sort of like epicenter for all the hauntings.
Yeah.
But me personally, I would say that Cornwall, which is sort of like southwest of the UK, and Wales are the most haunted places. They are, yeah, they're massively haunted. But I think that's because they kept hold of their druid ways. So whereas the rest of the country turned quite Christian quite quick, they didn't.
Yeah, I think over here, the most haunted state would have to be Connecticut. And
Everything goes down in Connecticut.
and if you're familiar with the paranormal, that's where Ed and Lorraine Warren were from, Connecticut. So,
Yeah.
and I wasn't I wasn't around when they were doing investigations, but when I started looking at some of their investigations, and I love the Conjuring movies, and so they had a big influence on how we do investigations. I would say, like when we do investigations, I wouldn't say we're trying to disprove like there's nothing here, but we definitely try, like if a door opens, we tried to disprove it.
Yes. No, I think that's actually really important. Connecticut is like the haunted capital of America. Like
Yeah.
you've got the Sally House there. You've then got obviously where Ed and Lorraine live, literally 20 minutes drive away.
Yep.
And then you've got like 20 minutes from there, you've got where they found the Annabelle doll. Honestly, it's like the
Yep.
massive, it's just crazy. That area is just absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And I think for me personally, I'll hold my hands up. There's a bit of a running joke that I want to be the English Lorraine Warren. I don't exactly want to be her with the way she ran her life, I will admit that. But as in going and spreading the white light, going around and sharing all that side of things, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. I do.
No. Yeah.
I think a lot of us that have respect for their paranormal side, if that makes sense. We have a lot of respect for their paranormal side because they were good at spotting paranormal. Let's be honest, they were very good at it. And I think some of the, I don't know what the word is. They invented some good systems to figure it out as well.
Definitely. I think the best thing, which I tried to do, and I kind of do it now, I guess, with trail cams. The cameras that people use for like hunting and stuff.
Yeah.
We put them out, and if you know how they work, they detect the motion and it snaps a picture. So, and they kind of did that first, and in Lorraine with their old style cameras, and I think it was a Conjuring, the first Conjuring. You saw that, and I'm like, that's so cool. Like, I would have never thought to do something like that.
I think what makes it important is actually that they did that was a lot of their documentation, a lot of their investigations were actually well documented, very well documented. And a lot of people miss that they were so well documented. Through photos, as you said, they literally constantly had cameras going all the time, recording systems going all the time and stuff like that. They were really well documented, and it's like the Amityville, they've actually got that photo, haven't they? So this is another one, guys. I'm sure people know Amityville, and that's the photo of the little boy, isn't it?
Yep.
I will say, Ryan, next time you look at that photo, this is actually something I've never said before. So I'm a bit like, oh, next time you look at that photo, get your medium friend. She'll be able to see it actually. Get her to look above the little boy's head.
Yep.
There's something there. There's something scarier than the fact they've caught the little boy.
I've actually heard that, is that there was something above the boy, and I couldn't really make it out, but I do believe that there was something else there.
Oh, so is it only us mediums that can see it?
It could be. Like, it's one of those things, like, I guess if you say it's there, you can kind of make it out. But if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have looked at it. I wouldn't have saw it. It's not like the little boy, I guess.
I think that's one of the things that I do like about what they did, because of the fact of that was so clear. So it wasn't like with everything else where it wasn't as clear, if that makes sense. But I think the thing is that a lot of people don't realize is a lot of the darkness within the paranormal world actually likes to hide. So I said this to Murder of Crows last week, and he was really shocked actually. What I find is a lot of them which are telling you to leave are actually the good spirits, but a lot of them where they're trying to pull you in and draw you in are actually the negative spirits. Because they like to hide behind this good persona, and they'll show you something, like they might show you a child or something like that. And then suddenly about 10 minutes later, you'll see a shadow, and all of a sudden you're like, hold on, what the heck?
Yep.
And you're like, actually, I don't think that's a good spirit. Or people are saying, oh, that's because one of the things that really frustrates me, people are saying, oh, that's because all spirits are black-souled. And it's like, it's not at all. That is basically, it's shown you a child. So you'll go, oh, come here, little child. Let me help you, pass you over. And then what you're seeing then suddenly whiz off in the corner of your eye is its true form.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know your feelings on that.
No, I agree 100%. Actually, at Penhurst, I caught a picture, which I believe was a janitor or something. He was down the hallway. He just kind of waved at us, but behind him, and I didn't see this at first until someone pointed it out. You can see like a tall black figure.
Oh wow. See what I mean? So it's showing you the janitor, it's saying, come with me.
Yep,
And it's actually manipulating what you're seeing and what you're actually feeling.
yep. Because like the janitor, he looked innocent. Like he was like, "Yeah, come with me. I'll show you the way out," or something like that. But there was something else behind him.
Now I'm going to ask Ryan, did you get the
Yep.
vibe of it? Could you feel it?
Honestly, at Penhurst, when we were there, I was overwhelmed with the children. So that's all I felt all night was the sadness and I guess a little regret from what happened there.
I think because we view children different now, and especially children with Down syndrome, autism, and all that, we view them very different. I've
Right.
got my guys have asked a question because since Sunday, all I've gone about is the new Sam and Colby film video, and I've been absolutely fuming about it. I hold my hands up. So my guys would like to know if you've watched it.
I honestly I haven't watched really any paranormal videos because we've been busy editing our Halloween special and now the new one and just work has been crazy. So no, I haven't.
My advice, Ryan, don't. I'm not going to lie to you, sweet. My advice is don't, sweet.
Where
Especially,
was it?
it was at the Pendle Hill in the UK. So they come to England, Pendle Hill.
Yep.
But basically, it come across that they actually made a don't know how else to word it other than this. They made a pact with the devil.
Mm,
So my advice,
yeah.
don't. Yeah, I've literally I've lost my head with it. I hold my hands up. I would admit that. It's even me with the fact I'm not a Christian, I don't agree with what they've done at all. At all. It's, you know, my point of views. We're not going to get onto that. We're talking about paranormal, about other stuff at the minute. So I have to ask then, Ryan, if you don't mind, my lovely.
Yep.
You're fine, beautiful. I have to ask, if you don't mind, my lovely, is the fact of, if someone was going to start up investigating, I know this sounds a bit of a weird question, and I promise I am already investigating, so don't worry, it's not for me. But I think for people watching that may be interested in it, what would you say would be the first sensible thing to start to do?
I would say to start out, and I kind of did this, but I didn't, would be find a local team and just ask. I mean, I know in the U.S. they have where you can pay like I think it $40 to go with them on an investigation, so you can see how an investigation is firsthand. Because if you watch it, pretty much all you're seeing is the activity. And when we brought the two guests with us to Wilson Castle, a lot of the time we were just sitting around. It's not always something's going to happen every second. So I would suggest going with a real paranormal team and hanging out with them to see how they investigate and be respectful. I've had people go with us and they were extremely disrespectful.
I think that's actually one of the reasons why I stopped. So I did sell tickets for a while to go on on investigations with me, and then I stopped because we watched. I'm trying to word this politely so people don't realize who we were watching. But I watched someone and they'd actually got other people with them. And they were investigating somewhere which I absolutely love, which was Chillingham Castle, funny enough, Danny, which one you've suggested. And I was mortified by a couple of the people that have brought tickets that were like clanging on the armor and stuff and like tapping on things. So it's sort of like they were having to figure out whether it was the people that brought with them or actual paranormal activity.
Right.
So yeah, I can understand that point of view. I love that point of view. Right, my lovely. We're done. I want to say thank you so much. Honestly, thank you, Ryan. I know you've just finished work, so we'll let you get home. Let you get rested. Bless you. Thank you so much, guys. Do go and check out. Honestly, their stuff is really good. I know I keep praising. So far, I've had 2 on which I can really praise up their 3 on that I can really praise up their content, their recording content and stuff. It's really informative as well. So do go check that out. It's down in the description, my lovelies. And again, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. And the last thing I want to say is all our stuff, it's not like Sam and Colby's. We don't add anything. It's pretty much raw. It's the raw footage of the investigation. That's the way we always been. And if you go on our YouTube page, you can see through the years when the editing started to get better. And like we add a little music and stuff like that, but for the most part it's all raw footage.
Which I think is important, and I love that. I know I am a huge fan. I'll admit I'm a huge fan of Sam and Colby, but that's for entertainment. I usually
Right.
watch, like yourself, Murder of Crows. You 2 have actually come a favourite in this house. Ghost Theory in the UK, and there's a couple of others I usually enjoy for the more realistic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It is, Debbie. It is. It's nice for the realistic that you can sit and actually watch. And we admit we put music over it and stuff like that. We have to.
Yeah.
More for the fact of, as Ryan admitted to, we do sit around a lot.
Yeah.
Sadly, waiting for things to happen.
Yeah.
So thank you again so much, guys. Do check them out in the link. Please go over and give them a wave, give them a hey in the comments and stuff. Give them a like. Remember to watch the full videos though. That is the most important thing here on YouTube, is your retention.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Ryan, so much. And guys, don't forget, keep sparkling.